Welcome to the Sugar Freedom Channel. I'm Catherine Gordon, the author of Sugar Freedom. Today's question, is sugar addiction real? And the source we're going to use for asking and answering that question is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, also known as the DSM-5. There is some argument over whether sugar addiction is real. I overcame obesity 12 years ago by losing 70 pounds, and I did that by eliminating sugar and the foods that break down to sugar. But the question remains to be answered. Is it medically real? Is sugar a toxic, addictive substance? And should we treat sugar consumption as an addiction, especially when it comes to overcoming overeating, overweight, and obesity? So the question we need to ask is, what are the components of sugar addiction? So I am going to the DSM-5 to find those criteria. And I'm gonna go ahead and list them for you. And then I'm gonna go back and talk about a few of them that I think are most significant in terms of people who are battling overweight and obesity. And then the most important part, I'm going to share what I think you can do in order to heal that sugar addiction. Let's go ahead and begin with number one. Taking the substance in larger amounts or for longer than you're meant to. So are you taking in sugar and also the starchy treats that turn into glucose in larger amounts or for longer than you're meant to? Absolutely. What we see with overeating is we see eating too much and eating for longer periods of time than we mean to. Number two, wanting to cut down or stop using the substance but not managing to. This has been true for me since I was 8 years old when I was put on my first diet by my pediatrician. Definitely yes to number two. Number three, spending a lot of time getting, using, or recovering from use of the substance. Without a doubt, all the time when I was compulsively overeating, I was trying to manage what I ate in public, what people saw me eating, and what I was going to eat in private. So I was actually doing double duty on my eating. What I ate that I wasn't ashamed of, and what I ate in secret that I was. Number four, cravings and urges to use the substance. Oh my goodness. From the time I was a child, I knew that I wanted to stop eating so much sugar, so many sweets, and so many snacks. And I simply could not do so because I was craving them. Number five, not managing to do what you should do at work, home, or school because of substance use. We live in a society and in a culture that values slimness. Not only that, there's three things that I've always wanted to do and that I do at a professional level or sometimes at an amateur level. And those are acting, singing, and dancing. In the professional world, especially with acting, there is a premium placed on actors who are slim, especially women actors who are slim. So overeating, overusing this substance was preventing me from having opportunities that I really wanted. In terms of dance, not only did it prevent me from getting hired, it also stopped me from performing at the level that I wanted to. Even to the point where, when I was 40 years old, I was trying to get back overcoming obesity. I was choreographing a dance. I went up into a grand jeté, came down and broke my foot in 5 places, definitely preventing me from doing the things that I wanted to do. 6, continuing to use even when it causes problems in relationships. Absolutely no doubt about that. When I think about my anger at my husband for times when he would be in the kitchen and I was wanting to overeat, or times when we would be at the dinner table and he was going too slow, he wasn't sitting down, and I would get so angry because the food was so important, and darn it, would you get in here and sit down and take your seat so that I can start eating my food. In many different ways, it damaged my relationships. Also because when I was younger, I tended to steal food from my roommates, definitely damaging my relationships. All right, giving up important social, occupational, or recreational activities because of substance use. Without a doubt, because when I was overweight, I was ashamed to go out and do particular things. I was ashamed to go out and take risks. I had been taught by certain members of my family that my appearance and my weight made me unworthy. As a matter of fact, my family was in the horse business, and I wasn't allowed to show horses like my sisters did for a number of years because they considered me overweight and they told me that I would not be allowed to show until I became slimmer. Number 8, using substances again and again, even when it puts you in danger. This is so true because certainly once I went to my doctor, he said that I was over 20% over an ideal weight and that I was affecting my health. I started to have periodontal disease at a fairly young age. I was suffering bone loss in my gums, but I still wasn't able to stop eating the foods that I knew. Dentists and periodontists have told me that there is a connection between what I'm eating, sugar and starch, and tooth decay and gum disease, and I still wasn't able to modify that behavior. Number 9, continuing to use even when you know you have a physical or psychological problem that could have been caused or made worse by the subject. No kidding. Gum disease, broken bones, overweight, obesity, obviously. High blood pressure, pre-diabetic blood sugar, you bet I had it. 10, needing more of the substance to get the effect you want, or tolerance. This is one of the arguments that some medical doctors have made, is that sugar does not cause tolerance. And the truth is that when I would overeat these foods, sweet or starchy foods, I would get a certain euphoria, and then the euphoria would last, and I would kind of like pass out and sleep it off. Absolutely. The longer I went and the longer I was a binger and overeater, the more food, the more substance I had to take in to get that euphoria. And it just got to be more and more and more. So I definitely developed a tolerance. And then 11, development of withdrawal symptoms, which can be relieved by taking more of the substance. Now, some people would argue, is it withdrawal or is it craving? I do believe that it is both. But when I talk about waking up the next morning and feeling the misery and the self-loathing and the physical pain and the joint pain, that misery and self-loathing could only be removed when I ate more of the substance. So this is absolutely true. I was experiencing headaches, shakiness, anxiety, and those symptoms could be relieved by going back and eating the substance, which would have been the sweets and the snacks and the rapid dopamine delivery substances that really helped. And here's Luna, the kitty. And of course, as we get into the idea of recovery and the things that are going to help us recover from addiction, one of the things that can help is to replace the addictive substance that you are using, for me, sugar and starch, and replace that with other things that make you happy and other ways to feel love and to get that dopamine and endorphin feeling. Of course, she's just a kitten, so she's going to bite on me. One of the most important reasons why I believe that sugar addiction is real is this question, which is not on the DSM-5. The question is, does elimination of the substance bring long-term relief? And that is the good news. It absolutely does. I gave up sugar a dozen years ago, went with a ketogenic diet, and have stuck with it for those dozen years. And over that time, I was able to lose, as I said, 70 pounds. I was able to achieve a normal, healthy weight, and I've been able to maintain it for so many years because I continued to eliminate the substance. I've been in abstinence from sugar for 12 years, and so I've been in recovery from obesity for the same 12 years. So that is the very good news, and that's why I'm actually glad and happy to claim sugar as an addictive substance. If we claim it and we accept it, then we can take steps to heal it. And the most important step to heal my sugar addiction was simply abstinence, eliminating sugar, and even starch and the things that break down to sugar, and then even to the point of eliminating glucose, which is, from time to time, using the technique of a carnivorous diet, a meat-based diet, to remove glucose as far as possible and carbohydrates completely from my nutrition plan. Now, I don't do that all the time. Most of the time, I'm eating Sugar Freedom style, which is listed in the Sugar Freedom program, which is at sugarfreedom.com. And that is simply elimination of all sugars, all starches, and all processed vegetable and seed oils. It's pretty simple. I kind of call it a farmer's market diet. If you could get it at the farmer's market, it's on the plan, because at our farmer's markets, we also have ranchers bring their local meat and eggs and some local dairy. It's also an idea of the outside aisles of the supermarket. So you've got your vegetables, your produce section, your dairy is over here, your meat is here, and then your cheeses and your cream cheese is on the far side, even your bacon. All of the foods that I eat in the Sugar Freedom program are on the outside aisles of the grocery store where I shop. So those are two of the things that you can do. Think in terms of the outside aisles of the grocery store, or, as I like to say, the farmer's market diet, and understand that the elimination of and abstinence from sugar can bring relief. And I think that that's the main reason why I believe that sugar is addictive, that sugar addiction is real, because when we eliminate the substance, we solve the problem. I hope you will like and share, and especially share this video if you know somebody who is struggling with sugar cravings and who is thinking of abstaining from or eliminating sugar in order to get beyond it. And I want to leave you with this final thought. People ask me, how can I give up sugar? And I tell them, eat something else. Eat the other foods, eat those outside aisle foods, those farmers market foods that aren't processed, that aren't in a bag or a box, and that don't concentrate the sugar. And then also, how do I get off of sugar? How do I stop overeating? Do other things that bring you joy and happiness. Gardening, play with animals, draw, sing, dance, play the piano. Find those other things in life that you enjoy. Some of the best advice I ever heard was from Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who said, go back to when you were 10 years old. Think about the things that you love to do between age 8 and 8-10 and see if you can go back and start incorporating those things in your life. And you will find that you can use them to replace sugar, be happy and healthy, and go out there and do good things. Thank you for watching, everyone. Be well.